So, you're on Instagram, right? Sharing your stuff, your brand, your passion, and you're probably thinking, how do I get more eyes on this? How do I really make that follower number jump? Forget just, posting great things and hoping for the best. The real way to accelerate that growth, it's data, it's understanding your audience.
Exactly.
And the tool, the secret weapon, is already there. Instagram Insights. Seriously, it's like having this built-in guide, but so many people just glance at it or maybe ignore it completely.
Yeah, it's a huge missed opportunity.
We're going to change that today. This deep dive is all about equipping you to actually decode those metrics and use them strategically to really grow your audience fast.
You using that data effectively.
And hey, if you're looking to take things even further, maybe get some advanced analytics or expert help to really boost your social media game, you could check out a site like rapidboost.net. They offer services for that kind of thing.
A good resource for next level stuff.
But for right now, let's really focus on what you can do with Instagram's own tools. Understanding what truly drives growth using the power already built into the app.
Right, we're cutting through the guesswork here. This is about making smart, informed decisions based on what your audience is actually telling you through their actions. So let's start basic. What exactly are Instagram Insights?
Okay, yeah. Think of Instagram Insights as like your dashboard, your control center for your Instagram presence. It's the built-in analytics tool you get when you have a professional account, either business or creator.
And it's not just about likes.
No, definitely not. It goes way beyond vanity metrics. It gives you that crucial behind-the-scenes look at how your content is actually performing, who it's reaching, how they're interacting.
It's like having a GPS for growth, wouldn't you say? Instead of just wandering around trying different things blindly.
Exactly. A GPS. It helps you navigate, find the most effective ways, the best routes to connect with the audience you actually want to reach based on real feedback.
And using this data, it makes a massive difference.
Oh, absolutely. I saw this stat. I think it was from a Hootsuite survey in 2023. Something like 65% of marketers who consistently used Insights saw their audience grow over 3 months.
Wow, 65%.
Yeah, compare that to only 28% of those who did these Insights. Well, it's more than double the success rate. It just shows you.
It really does. And it makes sense, right? If you're data-driven, you can spot trends faster, you can focus your energy on what's actually working with your audience, and you can pivot really quickly if something's falling flat. That agility is just key on a platform like Instagram.
Totally. And there are real stories behind this. Like Vanessa Lau, she's a personal branding coach. She grew her account from, I think, 10,000 to 100,000 followers in less than a year.
That's incredible growth.
And she credits it heavily to digging into her insights. She said the numbers basically showed her exactly what her audience cared about, what they found valuable. Once she leaned into that, her growth just exploded.
That's such a great example because it underscores the point. Understanding the data is really about understanding your audience's needs, their desires, what clicks for them.
Right. So, okay, for anyone listening who's now thinking, all right, I need to get serious about this, what's the first step? How do they actually get to these insights?
It's super straightforward, actually. The main thing is you need a professional account. So if you're still on a personal account,
Which a lot of people might be.
yeah, exactly. You just need to switch. It's free, takes a couple of taps. Go to your profile, hit the menu, those 3 lines in the corner, then settings and privacy, then find account type and tools. You'll see switch to professional account. Just follow the steps, pick your category, and boom, you're done.
And once you've done that,
Once you're set up as professional, you'll see an Insights button right there on your profile page. Or you can access it through that same menu, tap that, and you're in. You've unlocked all this data.
okay, so you tap insights, and suddenly there's a lot of numbers,
Right.
graphs. It can look a bit daunting at first.
It definitely can feel overwhelming. So let's break it down. Let's talk about the key metrics, the ones that really matter for driving that faster growth we're aiming for. Where should people focus their attention first?
Good idea. Yeah, there are a few core ones that are like your guiding stars. First up is reach. Think of reach as the number of unique people, individual accounts who actually saw your content.
Unique eyeballs.
Exactly. Growing reach means you're getting outside your bubble, reaching new potential followers. It's crucial for awareness. Then, related but different, is impressions.
Okay, how's that different?
Impressions is the total number of times your content was viewed. So one person might see your post 3 times, that's one unique person reached, but 3 impressions. It shows you the overall exposure level.
Got it. Reach is unique people, impressions is total views. What else?
Next is engagement. This is where you see how people are actually interacting. It lumps together likes, comments, saves, and shares. These are signals that people aren't just scrolling past, they're connecting.
Active connection, that's key.
Definitely. And then there's profile activity. This tracks things people do on your profile after seeing your content, like clicking the link in your bio, tapping the website button, hitting call or email. It shows if your content is driving action.
So bridging the gap between content and conversion, essentially.
You got it. And finally, super important, follower insights. This gives you the demographics, age, gender, top locations of your followers, plus, crucially, when they're most active on Instagram, and of course, follower growth trends.
That's a lot, but it all fits together, right? You can't just look at one metric in isolation.
Absolutely not. Each piece tells part of the story. You need to look at them together to get the full picture of what's really going on with your account and your audience.
And it's easy to get caught up in, like, just the follower count.
Yeah.
Or the number of likes, right? We call those vanity metrics.
Yeah, they feel good, but...
But they don't always tell you the whole story about genuine connection or, business results. If you really want that accelerated growth, you need to focus on the actionable insights, the metrics that show real interest.
Okay, so ditch the vanity, focus on the action. What are the top actionable insights we should be tracking?
Well, reach is still fundamental. How many unique people are you getting in front of? But then, crucially, your engagement rate. This is super powerful.
Engagement rate. How's that calculated again?
Usually you take your total engagement, likes, comments, saves, shares for a post and divide it by either your reach for that post or your total follower count. Different tools do it slightly differently, but the concept is the same. How engaged are the people who actually see your stuff?
And why is that rate so important?
Because a high engagement rate signals to the Instagram algorithm, the system deciding who sees what, that your content is good, it's valuable, it's interesting. And so the algorithm is more likely to show it to more people.
Ah, okay. So good engagement actually fuels more reach. It's a positive cycle.
Exactly. It helps you break out beyond just your existing followers and, within engagement, pay really close attention to saves and shares.
Why those two specifically?
Think about it. A like is easy, passive almost. But when someone saves your post, they're bookmarking it. They're saying, this is valuable, I want to come back to this. That's a strong signal of intent.
Like saving a recipe or a tip.
Precisely. And a share. That's even more powerful. They're actively recommending your content to their own networks, like a personal endorsement. Both saves and shares tell the algorithm this content has real depth and value.
So things like educational carousels, useful infographics, how-to videos, that kind of stuff often gets high saves and shares.
Absolutely. That's often your evergreen content, the stuff people find genuinely useful. We saw this with a travel photographer. Their scenic shots are fine, but when they started sharing infographics with practical packing tips...
Not the example you mentioned.
Yeah, the saves and shares went way up. People clearly wanted that practical, actionable advice. And the result? Within about 6 weeks of making that kind of content a regular thing, their average post reach jumped by 40%.
Wow, 40%, just from focusing on what people saved and shared?
It shows how focusing on those deeper signals really pays off. But it's also not just about looking at one post here, one post there. You need to zoom out.
Look for the bigger picture.
Exactly. Look for patterns and trends in your data over time. Don't get hung up on one post bombing or one post going viral. What happens consistently?
Right. So what kinds of questions should we ask ourselves when looking for these patterns?
Good question. Ask things like, which posts consistently get high engagement rates or lots of saves? What do they have in common? Is it the format, like are Reels outperforming static images for you? Is it the topic? What of the visual style or the caption length or the call to action you used? Also, critically, when is your audience most active? Which specific days or hours see the best results? And for stories and Reels, which ones are people actually watching all the way through?
Okay, identifying those winning elements. So once you start seeing these patterns, maybe noticing your reels about, say, behind-the-scenes stuff always do well, how do you actually use that? How do you translate it into a better content strategy?
Great point. This is where the rubber meets the road. The first, most obvious step is double down on your top-performing content.
Makes sense. Give the people more of what they like.
Exactly. Set aside time regularly, maybe weekly or monthly, to review your content. Filter by reach, engagement rate, saves. Identify, say, your top 5 posts from that period. Then really analyze them. What was the topic, the format, the visual style, the hook and the caption?
And then just copy them.
Not exactly copy, but replicate the elements that worked. If short, punchy video clips consistently get high engagement, incorporate more of those. If question-based captions spark conversation, use more of them. Find the winning ingredients and mix them into new recipes, so to speak. Keep it fresh, but lean into what works.
Okay, lean into the winners. What about the losers? The posts that just flop?
Yeah, you got to address those too. Don't be afraid to revamp your underperformers, or honestly, sometimes just retire certain content types if they consistently get low engagement.
Let them go.
Let them go. It might be tough if you put effort in, but if the data shows it's not connecting, it's just not serving you or your audience. Look at the contrast. If long essay-like captions always underperform compared to short, value-packed ones, that's a clear signal. Adjust your approach.
And timing. You mentioned finding when the audience is active. How does that play into the strategy?
Massively. In your follower insights, under total followers, it literally shows you the days and hours when most of your audience is online. Use that. Optimize your posting schedule. Aim to post just before or during those peak activity times.
So don't just post whenever I feel like it.
Ideally, no. Post when they're most likely to see it. General advice often says mornings, lunch, evenings are good, but your audience might be different. Maybe they're night owls. Trust your specific data.
Okay, that covers feed posts. But what about stories and reels? They have their own metrics, right? How do we leverage those?
Absolutely critical to look at those separately. Instagram stories have unique feedback loops. Metrics like taps forward if lots of people are tapping through quickly. Maybe your story was too slow or not engaging enough.
Or taps backward.
Right. Taps backward can be good. It might mean people wanted to rewatch something interesting. Exits are important too, where in your story sequence are people dropping off. That tells you what lost their interest.
And the interactive stuff.
Yes. Replies and sticker interactions like polls, quizzes, sliders are gold. They show direct engagement within the story format. Experiment. See which stickers get responses, which types of stories get replies, and then do more of that.
Makes sense. And reels, they seem huge right now.
Reels are huge, and their insights are vital. Look at plays, obviously, but also watch time, or people watching the whole thing. That's a big signal to the algorithm.
Like completion rate.
Exactly. And again, shares and saves are super significant for Reels. Content that gets shared widely can go viral and reach tons of new people. Also, look for follows from Reel. This metric directly tells you which Reels are actually convincing viewers to hit that follow button. That's growth you can directly attribute.
That's powerful. Like that bakery example you mentioned.
Yeah.
The funny reel outperformed the polished one.
Yeah, the funny staff blooper reel. It got way more shares, triple the shares, I think, and brought in like 200 new followers compared to a standard recipe reel. It showed them the power of relatability and entertainment in their reels.
So insights tell us about content performance, but also about the audience themselves, right? The demographics.
Absolutely. Your audience insights are crucial for tailoring your content. Knowing the dominant age range, gender distribution, and top locations of your followers helps you fine-tune everything. Well, you can adjust your tone, your language, maybe the references you use, to better resonate with the primary age group. Knowing locations helps you optimize posting times for different time zones. And if you have a strong concentration in one city or country.
You could create locally relevant content.
Precisely. Maybe reference local events or landmarks. It builds a stronger connection.
And beyond demographics, there are behavioral insights too.
Yes, like we touched on, knowing their peak activity times. But also, what actions do they tend to take? If you see that posting how-to videos consistently leads to more profile visits or website clicks, that tells you something very specific about what motivates your audience to take the next step.
So understanding the who and the when and the what they do helps you build loyalty.
Exactly. When you tailor your content to who they are and how they behave, they feel understood. That builds loyalty, makes them more likely to engage, importantly, more likely to share your content with others.
This all sounds great, but Instagram changes so fast, it feels like you need to keep experimenting.
You absolutely do. It's not a set it and forget it thing. Content experimentation and continuous testing are non-negotiable for sustained growth. Think of it like running little mini experiments all the time.
Like A/B testing.
Sort of, yeah. You can use insights to test variations. For example, post similar content, but try a portrait photo versus a landscape one. Or try a question as a hook versus a statement. Track the results in insights, see what performs better for your audience, and then lean into that.
Okay. And you mentioned content pillars earlier. How does that fit with experimentation?
Content pillars help keep your experimentation focused. Based on what your insights tell you, consistently works, define maybe 3 to 4 main themes or topics your audience loves. For a food blogger, it might be easy weeknight meals, baking projects, restaurant reviews.
Wow.
You can then experiment within those pillars. Try different formats for your weeknight meals or different angles for your reviews. It keeps your content strategy coherent while still allowing for freshness and testing.
And setting goals is important here, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need to set goals and measure progress.
Yeah.
Don't just experiment randomly. Decide what you want to achieve, maybe increase saves by 20% in the next month, or boost profile visits from Reels. Set specific, measurable goals. Run your experiment for a set time, maybe 2-4 weeks. Then check your insights. Did you hit the goal? What did you learn? Then adjust and set a new goal. It creates a continuous feedback loop for growth.
Okay, wow, we've covered a ton. Let's bring it all together. How can someone listening right now take all this and actually put it into practice, like step by step?
Right, let's make it super actionable. Here's a plan. 1, audit your recent content. Look back at maybe the last month. Use insights to identify your top 5 and bottom 5 posts based on engagement, reach, saves. What patterns do you see?
Okay, step 1, audit.
2, refine your strategy. Based on that audit, decide which formats, topics, and posting times you're going to focus on more and which ones you're going to maybe rework or phase out.
Step 2, refine.
3, optimize your routine. Start scheduling posts for those peak activity times you found. Actively experiment with stories, features, and reel hooks. Track completion rates and interactions closely.
Step 3, optimize routine.
4, run monthly experiments. Be intentional. Test one specific thing each month, a new visual style, a different CTA, a new reel format. Track it, analyze it, iterate.
Step 4, monthly tests.
5, monitor audience shifts. Keep an eye on those demographics. Is your audience changing? Adapt your content if needed.
5, watch the audience.
6, set SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Like increase website clicks from buy link by 15% in 4 weeks.
6, SMART goals.
And finally 7, repeat and scale. This isn't a one-off task. Make checking your insights and refining your strategy a regular habit, like maybe weekly. Continuous improvement is key.
That's a really clear plan. And we have that great example of Sarah, the graphic designer, right?
Yes, perfect example. She saw in her audience insights a big chunk of followers were in Australia, so she shifted her posting times to match their afternoons. And she started making simple reels explaining design tips. The result? Engagement doubled, DMs flooded with leads, and she landed 4 big contracts in just 2 months, all from listening to her insights.
It just shows the direct impact this can have. It's not just about numbers on a screen.
Exactly. Mastering Instagram insights really changes your role. You're not just throwing content out there. You become a strategic growth architect.
Right.
You learn what your audience truly wants, what makes them tick, what makes them act.
Yeah, it's about understanding those signals, the reach, the engagement, especially those high-value saves and shares, the profile visits. They all give you clues.
And when you consistently use those clues to guide your creativity, you create this powerful cycle. Data informs creativity, which leads to better results, which gives you more data, and so on. That's the engine for sustainable, rapid growth.
So the challenge for everyone listening is pretty clear then. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, dive into your own Instagram insights. Like right now, or as soon as you can, just explore what jumps out at you first. Any surprises about who's following you or what they like. And just think, what if making 1 or 2 small tweaks based on that data changing your posting time? Trying that reel format insight suggests what if that could kickstart some really significant growth for you? Worth finding out, right?